Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Nat Walsh again. Today, we're going to play with this stamp. Now, I've used this Crackerbox and Suzy stamps, the cow, the words, and the fence. Today, we're going to use Groot because he's just so stinking cool. I had to use him. So, this is the only stamp that I'm going to use. I'm going to get all like creative sort of thing. What I'm going to do here is firstly draw my ground. For some reason I did not take that all the way across, but don't stress about that too much. And I'm going to draw a speaker. Hopefully to you it looks like a speaker. I think it looks like a speaker, but you know, I was following photos of Groot. So strictly speaking, mostly when Groot dances, and okay, backtrack. If you don't know who Groot is, where have you been? And you need to fix that stuff up right now. So Groot is off Guardians of the Galaxy. There's two movies in the series, and he starts off as an adult in one of the movies, and then there's a little Groot. There's a little Groot along the lines, okay? I don't want to tell you the whole story because, you know, you should know it, and if you don't know it, go find out. It's a very light-hearted, just playful movie. I just like it. It's just, that's cool. Now, all this guy says, and he's actually played by, Vin Diesel. And all he says is, I am Groot, in different tones. And the different tones means that, you know, he's saying something different, but literally he's just saying, I am Groot, that we can hear. And there's another character that translates whatever he says. So what I've got here is A, because I've got a speaker, and B, because all he says is, I am Groot. I am just free drawing some I am Groot music. So a little play on everything. And I actually go over it a couple of times because I want the I am Groot to stand out. Now, especially the T can be a little bit harder because it just looks a bit like a funky F, honestly. So we're going back in now with a Copic multi-liner. A 0.3 is my usual fave. And now, as I said, I googled Groot. So in one of the photos that you see on Google is that he is dancing and he has legs. He has legs and everything else. Another one, and that's where the speaker comes in. He's actually got two speakers in the scene, but we're going to draw one. The center of my speaker is a bit dodgy, but hopefully the fact that the all over image will mean it doesn't matter. Hopefully. Anywho, so I'm just going to trim this down to my normal, well, it's a smaller one than my normal one, so 14.1 by 9.7. We've got our C 4, 2 and 0 because I want the image, the pot to sort of look white. And it will, when we put all the rest of the background down, we will have everything look like it's, well, the pot that will look like it's white. Okay. Another image that Groot was in on Google was him in the pot. And this again, he was sort of what I call chair dancing. You know, your butt doesn't actually move off the seat, but you're sort of like jingling along to the music. And that was inside their ship. So let's just go with the flow and add a speaker, add some funky little music, and we'll see what happens. Our little Groot dude is E89, 87 and 84. And yes, every single one of those little twists of Groot has a little bit of a darker. I do use all 3 colours because, you know, I can't help myself. But it doesn't matter. His little face, I'm going to have a shadow sort of underneath his chin. I'm going to try and keep the top of his head not fully coloured. And what I'll do is I'll go into that with G24. So we're just going to have a little bit of gap underneath his chin, which you really can't see too much. So I think I've already coloured it in there, but I did have a little bit of gap underneath his chin. I can tell you that honestly because I am looking at the card right now. His green, because the photos that I saw online that he had a bit of a green, and I actually have this little cute Groot that I got online where he's just sitting on his bum and he has a little bit of green around the edges. So, you know, we might as well include that. The leaves that are coming out from underneath his little heart thing there on his thing, and the leaves on the other hand and out of the top of his head are also just going to be the straight G29. Okay, I'm just going back through now with the E89 just to give it a little bit of more definition. So I decided I needed to add a few more hearts, so we're just going to draw those in. And again, go over lettering, of course, and honestly, this is not going to be the last time. It's not going to be the last time. I actually, in the end, go over without just a normal Copic liner. Just a normal... Can I say it's not a gel pen, but it's along that lines where it's quite sort of quite dark and juicy, shall we say. The hearts were just an R27 straight away. It's Runaway 27. It's called Runaway 27 in my house because my bag fell over in my car, and when I opened the door, they went everywhere, and R27 was the one that was stuck underneath my car that I literally had to come back out from the restaurant, move my car, get a friend to get my R27 because it was just like gnawing at me that I had a Copic marker underneath my car and I can't lose it. It's like, So anyway, I can just hear my friends laughing right now. Anywho, the speaker, we've got our 100 pen, which is basically a black, C9, C7 and C5. Now I'm using the image on Google to sort of encourage me for where to put the shadows and everything else, but this is a state of I have no idea. So we're going to go with the flow, and honestly in the end it works out quite well. I'm leaving that inner bit that I'm colouring right now there, not that bit, the other bit, with the C5 just to make sure it's nice and light. And that's going to be our speaker. So in real life you can sort of see it's got a bit of dimension. I think I should have made the dimension go back into the image a little bit more, but doesn't matter. I'm adding in my ground now, so I'm doing my skirting board. I don't know what you call it in America, but here in Australia we call it skirting board. Architrave. Is it architrave? I don't know whether architrave's at the top of on the roof or down the bottom. So I digress. Along the top I've marked halfway and I've just done a line. Okay? And I've got Gooby on there, so we're just going to use the sand eraser to get rid of that. So I've marked halfway across, so it's like just under 7, not even 0.05, not even 7.1 sort of thing. Along the bottom I've marked every 1.5 centimeters. You can do anything you want, but I thought 1.5 centimeters is a nice rounded number. Now I'm joining the dots on the bottom to the top, and you can see how my ruler is sort of rotating out and pivoting out from one point. And then on the very, very edge, so my floorboards isn't too wide, that's when I've added just the extra one, and I've just not freehanded these in with a pen, but just use the ruler and just added another one in wherever I saw fit. Going over my lines now with my multi liner, and you can see there how I'm pivoting and just lining up the 1.5 centimeter up to the top. Add the odd. I've got no rhyme or reason to where I'm adding the ends of the floorboards. I'm just adding them. Add a couple of nail holes. And my floorboard is going to look like a hot mess until it doesn't. Hopefully to you it doesn't. I think to me it doesn't. I've added this strip of cardstock just because I didn't want to get Copic pen on my mat. You see, I've changed it over. I decided I needed a bigger one, and I did have a big one, so it's not like I got out and bought another one, but I did have a big one, so we've used it. Working from darkest down to my lightest, and then I will go back up. I'm putting the darkest in wherever the joins are, where the two things meet, or whether something's going to be underneath something else is going to be where the darkest points are going to be. At this point you're going, oh my gosh. So I'm just adding a little bit of squiggles and then going over it with the next lightest, and then going with the very lightest, going over the whole lot, just in the hope that it will all blend in together, and hopefully you look at it and go, yeah, that's cool. So you just keep working at it. So I'm going to have a shadow underneath the speaker, and because the skirting board is meeting the floorboards, I've done a little shadow there as well. So we're just going to work through the panel, and I do go back over the flooring that I've already done there a couple of times, another time or so. So there's no rhyme or reason on my little squiggles. I'm just trying to get that wood sort of look. So try it out from home. So again, as I said, I've done halfway along the top and along the bottom every 1.5 centimeters, marked it, and then use the ruler to pivot between all of them and make my lines and make my floorboards, and then just keep working at it until it looks decent. See, at the moment it looks too the squiggles just look like they're too much of a squiggles, whereas if you look at the real card, when you look at the photos, you'll see that it blends in a lot more and from a distance. And of course, you're looking at it really closely, so you need to remember, if you look at it really closely and look at the flooring, it's going to look a bit like squiggles. But if you're looking at it from a distance and looking at the whole thing, I think it's pretty cool. The skirting board, I'm going to use the same colours, and I'm literally going to have the darkest up the top and a bit on the bottom. I was trying to figure out how to do that, but that's what I decided to go with, so that's what I did. And I've already got the darkest colour on the bottom, so I'm sort of worrying mostly about the top with the darker colour. What else can I tell you? All the information will be linked down below. I'm extremely grateful for all my subscribers. If you have not yet subscribed, it would be a great honour if you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell, and that will let you know whenever I upload videos. If you hit the like button, it sort of helps the channel grow, because the more people that hit the like button, then the more YouTube sort of goes, people like this video, I might recommend it to someone else. Our final colour is our G40. It's a very, very light colour. It's I really like it. It's really pretty. I'm using my blender pen, my O, just to soften that out a bit, because it's not my normal lightest colour, And I'm going around the image being super careful, especially around my light, my red colour and that sort of thing, to not really touch the image too much, because I don't want to drag out any of the brown or especially the red. The reds, they can be toads, you know, they can be not the easiest to deal with. So we're going to work through that. There will be a link below for the blog post, which will give you the information of where this has come from, like links to where it has come from. Again, it's Crackerbox and Suzy stamps. I am just about to place another order because I love it. They're fun, they're so cool, they're just something a bit different, and I like that. I like it. So for some reason my eye did smudge a little bit with when I put through maybe my oil or something, because I wasn't as handy as I wanted to be going around our Groot again. And as I said, I do still use a relatively normal standard pen. Okay. Now, can I suggest don't put the stickers on until you've mounted the card, because I do wipe off some of it while I'm putting the card down. But anywho, I don't think I went and told you what colours I used for my floor. I had E47, 37, 33 and E31. I'm going to use some brown cardstock, and I was going to cut it down, but then I realised it's actually already cut at the correct size. Yay me. And some green card base, because, you know, it just blended in with the whole woody feel of it all. That's pretty much going to be it. That's our card. Just trying to grab my glue here. I do like my wet glue because it gives me a bit of wiggle time. And honestly, here in Australia, I've never really had much luck with tape. Plenty of people do, but I'm just wet glue. I like my wiggle room. I don't want to have to fight with the sucker to get it up if it doesn't go on straight. So this is my thing. This is where my white gel pen, I just wanted his eyes to be a little bit lighter. I was going to use a jelly pen, but didn't really work. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for stopping by.